Okay, so I'm recording this to talk about the contract situation of the three Liverpool players, Mo Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Virgil van Dijk. Something which has been going on. What is going to happen? That is being, there's a lot of speculation going on since the summer, and now it's winter, and still nothing has been resolved. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and the last week was really turbulent, especially with the rumors that Alexander Arnold is being heavily chased by Real Madrid now to join them. And following that, of course, we had I'd say a disappointing result against Man United, where we have seen Alexander Arnold probably not performing that well, and we have seen a lot of social media reactions because of that. People saying that his mind is gone. He's already he's thinking about his move to Madrid and things like that. So uh, I want to discuss about all the three contract scenarios separately, because I think the situation is very different for all three of them. Um, so let's start with Virgil van Dijk, which, in my opinion, I think it's the easiest one, right? Uh, I mean, his commitment has been unbelievable. Of course, he's the captain of the club, and that is why I feel that this is going to happen eventually. Yesterday there were some rumors that Real Madrid, he was his agent had spoken with Real Madrid regarding a move there, but I don't know how much of that is true. Personally, I feel that's absolutely rubbish. I don't think his agent would be doing anything like that. Um, I, I don't see him, going elsewhere next season. He's going to be 34, of course. And okay, I'm going to talk about the age situation separately. But personally, I feel being the captain of the club and the kind of commitment that he has shown this season, I think it goes without saying that he's going to be a Liverpool player next season. I'm very confident about that. Now let's move on to Mo Salah, which is probably the most interesting one out of the three, because he has absolutely come out and spoken about it again and again and again. And he's in a way, he's been moaning about not being offered the contract. And personally, I love it when the players do it that way. And it's very diplomatic all the time. They would keep saying, I want to win the trophy, I want to win the Premier League. And every time they're asked, they're going to get this template answer. And Mo Salah has done something very different this season. I remember last time when his contract was due, that time also, he came and talk about the situation, and he said that I'm not asking for some extraordinary amount and things like that. I also like his agent a lot, the guy Rami Abbas. I really like the guy. I think he's a very interesting character. He's very different from most of the football agents. He's not that professional. He makes this skeptical posts on Twitter, and we are thinking about that, again and again, that what exactly he means by this set of words. Sometimes it's probably not even related to Salah or his contract. Like, I remember him posting about people eating at a restaurant, and some people are trying to take out meaning from that. So it's really interesting how these two approach the situation. Again, I think Salah is going to stay next year. I'm very confident about this. He has been extraordinary this season. Uh, the thing with Salah and Van Dijk is that I think both of them have shown that their form, it kind of had a dip over the last two seasons, and it's not surprising. Of course, Van Dijk came back from a very serious injury, and after that, the players, physically at least, they're not at the same level anymore, which goes without saying. And Salah, of course, he's a winger. A lot of his game is dependent on pace, and when you are aging, next year Salah is going to be 33, Van Dijk is going to be 34, and it's a tough situation for the club to how you deal with the situation, because players at this age, of course, we are seeing no signs of that, but things can go downhill very quickly with players who are um, getting into their mid 30s, because they're athletes, and a lot of even though they look very very fit. And Salah is someone who's a bit of a fitness freak as well. But you never know. The fall could come very soon. And if you look at Salah's performances over the last 2 seasons, I think you know the prediction can be made that there's a gradual decline in his game, which is completely gone this season. And yeah, I'm coming to why that could be. But the situation is we fans, we think about it just from the emotional point of view. We just think about you know what is going on right now. And the situation at the club is very different because the management, the corporate and things like that, they're involved, and their thinking process is absolutely different from us. They would be thinking uh, that the contract that they're going to offer to Salah and Van Dijk next season, it's going to be on the basis of what they think that these two players are going to offer from next season onwards. They're not going to reward them for what they're doing right now, because this season is a part of their already existing contract. And uh, even if they do extraordinarily well and we end up winning the big trophies, that is part of the bonus package probably included in their current contract, which is not going to be applicable next season. So yeah, it's a tough call for the club. They'll have to, of course, offer these two big players. you know at this age, generally you're looking at contracts which should um, I mean, it feels bad to say it, but at this age, generally players are offered contracts where they have to take pay cuts, which is I don't see that happening absolutely on the basis of the profile of these two players, and of course what they're doing on the pitch. But at least in terms of the duration that they're asking for, we may see something which is I think that is the main point of conflict between the two parties. Because see, one thing, next season at this time, if Salah and Van Dijk are not playing at the level that they're doing this season, a lot of our fans are going to come and they're going to say that it was probably not the correct decision to offer them hefty long-term contracts at this age, because people forget what they say. And the mentality is always like the things that are being done are not correct, and things that could be done, they are probably correct. And so yeah, I mean, it's a tough call for the club to make. They have to assess that the money that they're going to offer to these players, whether that money can be used to bring in players who are probably younger, who are going to be there for the long term. If you offer Salah and Van Dijk, ideally I want them to retire from Liverpool. I want them to be offered 3-year contracts. Now, is that going to happen? I don't know. So, and you can see this year, Salah and Van Dijk, I'd say that one of the reasons why they have been able to deliver at the level that they have not been able to deliver over the last 2 seasons is because they're playing with that extra hunger. They're playing for that contract. They want that new contract to be as good as it can get, and that is one of the reasons why I'd say that it's not going to come anytime soon. It's probably not going to happen until the season is over. Now, some people may say that of course they're able to discuss with other clubs from January onwards outside England, but I mean, these two players have been at the club for 7 years now, and 7 years is a long time. They're settled in the city with their families, and at this age, finding a level of competition which Liverpool are able to offer them, along with a significant pay, is not something they're going to get very easily elsewhere. I mean, they can go to MLS, they can go to, I mean, there were some rumors about Salah going to PSG, which again I think is absolutely rubbish. They can go to Saudi, but that means the playing career, at least at the very peak of you know the level of competition is going to be not there anymore for them. So Salah and Van Dijk, they have things to lose at their end as well, and the club is going to be cautious. We have seen things like players playing hard for their contract, and then as soon as they sign the contract, things are not the same anymore. We've seen that happening with Aubameyang. I think it's the best example out there. He was Arsenal's main guy, he was their talisman, the captain. He was bailing them out week after week, and as soon as he signs the contract, he's gone. I don't even know at the moment where Aubameyang plays, and we've seen this happening with Rashford a couple of years back. He was looking an absolute world beater, and as soon as he signed the contract, now he cannot even get into that Man United team, and the talks of him being sent off. He's probably going to leave Man United next season, and that could happen in January as well. So the thing is, I think the club is going to offer them a 1 year contract extension, 33, 34 years of age, players of that age. I think that is what the club is going to offer them, and the players probably want a 3 year contract with pay rise. So there is going to be this conflict going on right until the end of the season, and yeah, it's easy for us fans to make assessments on the basis of that. But at the end of that is why negotiations happen, because eventually you have to come to a point where you look at the interest of both parties and you settle down at a point which benefits both of them. And for me, that is not going to happen until the end of the season. Now, see, Salah and Van Dijk, they're going to look at it and they're going to think that the best possible contract is probably not going to come right until the end, when the club has no other option but to offer them that contract, which is probably the last take or a go kind of a situation. And why would they sign right now? I don't think that they're going to take a contract which is being offered to them, and it's the same for the club as well. Why would they offer them a contract right now, and they can see this? Maybe there is an injury happening, right at the end of the season, and you offer them 3 year contracts, and that's gone to absolute nothing. So many things can happen. So, and it is common for 30 plus players to even renew their contracts after it is over. I won't be surprised if Salah and Van Dijk, if there's absolutely no update about their contracts and they're celebrating on the streets. I'm hoping that they're celebrating on the streets with some trophies, and then we get the announcement that eventually they're going to renew. But I'm very hopeful about these two, and let's see. But I'm talking from a very neutral point of view. I'm giving both the sides, and let's see what happens. And now the situation with Alexander-Arnold is completely different. He's one guy whom you think that he's the scouser, he's the future captain. I remember saying last year that if there are two guys at Liverpool whom I don't think they're going to leave the club anytime soon, and they were Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, because the spirit and the kind of passion that Robertson specifically shows is unreal. And regarding Trent, it's his club. Why would he leave his club, right? So, but what I've seen this season, it has turned my head, probably turned my head, just like probably his head has been turned by certain things happening over the last 2 seasons. I've seen people saying things like, why would he stay back, because Real Madrid's pull is unreal, and uh, it's a much bigger opportunity it's a new opportunity for him at least. Why would he want to stay back? And I'm quite surprised by that, because at the end of the day, yeah, loyalty is a thing of past that probably doesn't exist in 2024, but it's 2025 now, okay. So, but the thing is, he has been wearing his identity as a Scouser more like he's been showing it off like anything. He's not singing the national anthem for England, and certain things that he's done on the pitch last year, it does look like his heart is there at the club, at least there at the city. And then suddenly this season, I don't know what happened, but right from the beginning, I think his attitude has been a bit off. Moaning when he comes off early. That can happen, of course. The best players want to stay on the pitch, but it's been off. He has not looked like that guy who is supposed to be the future captain of Liverpool Football Club. See, last season he was offered the vice captaincy. I'm sure the commitment was there for the club uh, to see him as a long term player. They have not offered him vice captaincy to, go away 2 years later. And I'm sure that there have been some discussions with him regarding this. And now, if he is not signing the contract, I think it's a betrayal. Well, especially if he goes for free. That is absolute betrayal of the club that he has. I mean that has given him the opportunity, and he has stayed at for the last 18 years. And I mean, what can you say? Um, it is very difficult for me to say this, but it looks like he's the most probable out of the three to not stay back. And I'm hoping he would stay. But there are a lot of things to look here. I mean, it's when I'm looking at Salah and Van Dijk situation, they have more to lose than gain by not staying at Liverpool next season. With Alexander-Arnold, at his age, he's probably going to, if he goes to Real, it's financially, it's probably going to be good for him. And things are not as competitive for Real and Barca in La Liga, so he's probably going to end up much more trophies there, and he's going to be there with his best friend. So he has a lot to gain, but he has a lot to lose as well, because he's going to be leaving his legacy at Liverpool. It's going to be tarnished, no matter what people on Twitter and WhatsApp say. The thing is, he's going to lose the respect in the city, especially if we end up winning the league this season and he's out after that. That's all the respect that he has earned. That's gone. I mean, it's a disgrace for the family. It's a dream. People are saying that he has won everything here. Why would he want to stay back? But he has not won a single thing here as the captain of Liverpool Football Club, and that is the ultimate dream of every Scouser, to be, the captain of the best club in the world, the main club in the city, and lift trophies. I mean, it's going to be much bigger than Jordan Henderson or even Virgil van Dijk lifting the trophy. Gerrard tried his best to win the Premier League and he couldn't. So that just makes the dream much bigger, and he would be absolutely spitting on that dream if he goes. And you know, I just don't want to. I mean, I love him. I've seen him, grow from that 16-year, 17-year-old kid to where he is now, and I just don't want to see that happening, because yesterday I remember, when Salah was taking that free kick yesterday, and Alexander-Arnold, he was probably not taking. He was probably supposed to take that free kick, and Salah asked him, and he let him take that free kick. I saw that child once again, the young kid who came up through the academy and was playing with such spirit and passion for all these years. Where is that gone? I mean, last night he got a lot of abuse, and uh, I mean, he deserved that probably based on the performance. But I mean, he has always been a bad defender. This season he has improved defensively, but he's never going to be a player who's going to think about defending first. But some of his I mean, when he went off, that look Van Dijk gave him, that has been highlighted a lot. But you look at Alexander Arnold's expression when Van Dijk gives him that look, and that is the expression of a 19-year-old Alexander Arnold was being asked by Virgil van Dijk to stay back and stop the cross. We've seen things like this happening many times when he was young. That has probably not happened a lot over the last few seasons, but it was a moment where Van Dijk was showing that authority over a kid. He's a kid. He's still a kid, and I mean, I'm hoping he stays back. And next season, I don't want to see a situation where Alexander Arnold is not at Liverpool Football Club. But if that happens, I think he has a lot to lose. Another thing that is very significant is, of course, the emergence of Conor Bradley, and that is putting a lot of pressure on him. Bradley came on and after a long injury, and he in that 5 minutes, I think he did better than Alexander Arnold did. And that game against Real Madrid, I think it showed Trent that we have a successor in our hands. He's not as you know precious as he was probably a couple of years back. We have got a guy coming behind him. He's probably coming for a spot even if he stays back. And if he's going to play like this, I think what is the worst case scenario for Alexander Arnold is. In my opinion, the worst case scenario for him is he continues to play like this. He keeps that real rumor affecting his performances on the pitch, and then he eventually probably loses his spot to Conor Bradley before the season ends. What that would do is next season when he's gone, no one cares. It doesn't even make headlines. He's the second. He would leave Liverpool as the backup right back. So we have seen another fullback few years earlier leaving Liverpool for free, and that was Alberto Moreno, who was good at attack and not very good at defense. I mean, I'm very sure Alexander Arnold doesn't want to leave Liverpool as the new Alberto Moreno. I think that is the worst case scenario for him. So I think, I mean, he's a professional footballer. I'm sure he knows about it, and he needs to step up on the pitch. I mean, he yesterday, I think the performance was probably his worst of the season. But yeah, I mean, I can give him the benefit of doubt for that because he has improved defensively under Slot. And yeah, hopefully next game onwards, we're going to see him play well again. The last thing that I want to say was eventually, we don't know what's going on behind the scene. We don't speculate about what's going on. We don't even know if they're playing us. They've already signed the contracts and they're just talking random things in the media to keep the rumors alive. And if it is the instruction from the if it is an instruction of the club as well. So we don't know what's going on, and there is no point in reacting to media headlines every day. It's basically the same story being recycled again and again. Right now, the focus should be on the league. For the fans, it is about feeling excited. Last season, everyone thought the club is gone. Liverpool is probably going into a transition period next 3-4 seasons. It's all about just managing things and getting back there. And then suddenly Slot comes in and we are at the top of the Premier League, 6 points above Nottingham Forest and another club from London, and with a game in hand. And of course, top of the Champions League, we have the Carabao semi-final against Spurs 2 days later, and the FA Cup starts on the weekend. So there's every reason to feel very, very excited about it. And for the fans, I mean, the mourning needs to stop. We have last season, our squad was done. We had a really poor squad which completely fell off towards the end of the season, and this season the narrative has been that Slot has inherited a new squad. Right, so people are reactionary. Most fans are reactionary to what is being fed by the media, and most people. I see this regularly on WhatsApp. There is a lot of abuse coming towards certain players and the team at halftime, and then they're celebrating at full time. So just don't be that halftime kid and relax. And Liverpool are in a very good space this season. Hopefully, we're going to end up the season winning at least a few trophies, the main ones at least. Yeah.